Shenanigans.
You mean shenanigans?
Shenanigans. Evil shenanigans.
Shenanigans, right?
Shenanigan.
How did yesterday's go?
Oh, it was good.
Did you already release any of those yet?
Yeah.
Okay.
I already put out. Josh came over and we talked about G.I. Joe comics.
G.I. Joe comics.
He's a big nerd. He buys Jeeps. He owns a fuck ton of comics. Like his whole room here was the first time I went to his house. His living room was the area he displayed his comics because he was single.
Yeah, he was able to do what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it.
Because he was single, he was able to use his living room as his comic book display. He used to take these little like hog rings that were different colors, and they would make like chainmail, like for strippers and for game players and stuff like that. Probably LARP people.
It's a pretty big spectrum there. Strippers,
If you've seen,
video game players.
Come on, man! They're costume people.
They're all wearing costumes.
It has nothing to do with if they take their
costumes off.
Well, their titties out for someone, but.
Have you been to
similar.
like Comic Cons and stuff? There's a lot of titties out everywhere.
No, I have the internet. So.
Why would I drive somewhere to see titties? Whatever, you can Google it. Problem solved.
I've heard good things, and I've seen they've done. I mean, that's how I know what he was talking about because I'd seen people wearing outfits and stuff that were made by a tailor or by the person that did it because you can't go buy this stuff. But yeah, he made like I remember one of them was like this V-shaped. It was all made out of chain, and it was like just like a breast piece, and he sold them on eBay. Yeah. So
it works. I mean, people are looking for it specifically. I don't know, like they have the Comic Con in Medford. I don't know what the fuck they call it, but probably Medford Comic Con. But it's obviously small scale compared to a lot of other things. Like they still had some pretty famous people out there. Like they had the lady that like was the original person that got killed in Nightmare Before Elm Street, or
the Nightmare on Elm Street. God,
so they had like her out there. They had a couple local artists. A couple of my friends were out there. My friend has a Rogue 3D printing.
Cool.
So he was out there selling everything you can imagine. So it's pretty cool, but it's still small. But I mean, people still do go all out, and they still do get fully dressed up to go out there. You know what I mean? It's their fucking world. So
it is.
And I just go out there to see the people dressed up.
And that's what you have. You have those putting on the show and those taking in the show.
But I mean, you go to somewhere like San Diego Comic Con, the original one. You know what I mean? You're talking the whole cast from Walking Dead's there, the whole cast from the Avengers there. You get to meet Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah,
I think that's worth $150 a pop.
Yeah. Well, if I'm not mistaken, you can buy. How much ever access you want, it's available. You just, it's either 200 or 500. Yeah. With 500, you get to do anything you want, go anywhere you want.
You get to see like the trailers of the movies before they get seen by anybody else type shit.
Yeah.
Speaking of, he's a G.I. Joe fan, he said? That's what he was talking about?
Big G.I. Joe fan. In fact, I'll give you an example. He had a comic that he brought in that was worth $1,500. It's a G.I. Joe comic. And he has tons of this shit. All right. So
tons of comics.
Comics
are badass. I'm a huge comic fan. Saban Films that owned Power Rangers, right?
Yeah.
They just redid the Power Rangers movie 2017. Mm-hmm. They just sold Power Rangers rights to Hasbro, which owns G.I. Joe too. Mm-hmm. So Hasbro is rebooting a whole bunch of their movie things. They're going to do a new comic book. I mean, a new more Power Rangers, a new G.I. Joe, new everything. Hasbro has already announced after buying the Power Rangers from the last time that their whole new plan is to reboot the movies and basically everybody's trying to keep up with Marvel. Is what it comes down to.
I'm gonna have Josh come back next time he comes back. He's talking about doing some. He has like the flag, which is the ship.
Oh,
it's the size of a bedroom, and he was talking about all these pieces he has, but right now he's getting ready to. I think he's trying to liquidate some of the big pieces and then buy more comics. They're easier to have. He has a room full of action figures and shit.
Which is probably why he's trying to liquidate because...
Yeah, it's hard to move. It's hard to move.
That's too much shit to move. I wouldn't want to.
It was crazy because like he has... I mean, we're talking... There's small action figures. There's medium-sized action figures. There's big. And then there's gigantic action figures and shit. Okay? These things are... This is not your run-of-the-mill nerd stuff. Some of this stuff was probably display model-only stuff. And, I mean, he's got,
And nobody wants to put all that stuff in storage. What's the point of having all that cool shit if it's not to be displayed?
Well, that's what he was getting at.
So, yeah, why not give it to or sell it to somebody who will display it somewhere cool and you can buy more stuff you like?
Well, the next time he's going to come back on here in a couple weeks. He wanted to get some of this stuff sorted out. And I told him when he comes back on to come in with, like, maybe an eBay listing or something we can link to, because
some
people
click
that
on.
are watching this, you guys that are nerds out there, you'd be able to link up and see what he's doing.
Yeah, what type of cool nerd shit does he have?
Well, I mean, and he's going to be selling some of it.
Yeah.
So if people out there are looking for it, he's the type of guy that could have it.
I wonder how he picked G.I. Joe.
He just was a
He
kid.
just went for G.I. Joe.
No, he was a G.I. Joe kid fan.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like
When he was little, they played
yeah.
with him.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, there's like Thundercats, there's Gargoyles, G.I. Joe, Power Rangers. Obviously, I went Power
Sure.
Rangers. So I'm like, I wonder what it is like about who we are that like goes to the certain cartoons, you
But
know?
Josh, I think, is in his early 40s, which I've turned 41 here soon. I'm like a year behind him or so, and maybe 2 years. And you are
30.
Yeah.
Just about turned 30.
So, see, the difference in time is probably has to do with what sunk into
you guys had fucking He-Man then.
Fuck yes, we had He-Man.
That was the dope
And
one.
I don't know why He-Man doesn't come up more often. 'cause
I agree.
That is the one
it's
I
underplayed.
still have toys for. Mm-hmm. I mean, literally, I have the little thingy that and then it swings around, and then it swings around.
Of He-Man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think he was probably, well, nowadays, probably one of the most
I have
underrated
the
characters.
power.
It would have been dope if they relaunch He-Man. I bet it'll take off.
I like the old cartoon, the shitty drawn, bad story. There's a moral at the end of every story. Hey kids, don't take candy from strangers. Okay, thanks, fucking Beast Man.
Did you ever watch Captain Planet?
No,
So Captain
I didn't
Planet.
have TBS, yo.
Oh, okay.
I didn't have cable.
I don't know what it was. It
was
wasn't on
TBS.
cable. It was TBS.
It was on TBS or one of those
one of those
networks.
fancy networks.
Something I didn't get. USA maybe.
I don't remember, but it was fucking Cartoon Network probably. I don't remember, but
Yeah,
all I know
could
is
be.
like that was the same thing at the end of every episode. They're all like, and make sure you cut
Just
up your
recycle.
plastic circles and
Recycle so in the future.
turn the water off while you're brushing your teeth
Yeah.
and save gallons of water. And you're all like, you're watching like, yeah, totally conscious about the Earth because of Captain Planet. 6 years later, I'm like,
Well, what's weird to me is, I have a well, so it runs out the fucking back door right into the ground, and I drink it again in 2 weeks. So, like, I'm not really conserving water. I'm going to pee in the yard. But recycle. That was the big one. That's when they really started pushing, if you don't recycle, you're a piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. You don't
you're a bad
fucking...
person.
Well, because it started out just all this like, hey, let's all do this as a cool thing to do. Yeah, and then it was like, you don't recycle? And then it's like, boycott their existence, they don't recycle.
they're the
And
worst
then
people on the Earth.
that's what your identity is now.
Everybody buy a Prius.
You're that guy that
Use
doesn't recycle.
biodegradable plastic.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous.
Now we can't even have a fucking straw anywhere in America, so that's cool.
No straws.
That's working out well. Swinging a big stick there, Gandhi. You know what I mean? Like, let's take away the straws.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not privy to that. I don't sit around looking for reasons to be mad, but I did see, like, Greta Thunberg. Did you see her posing with, like, Prince Charles? Haha. It was great because they're like, oh, she's the climate change activist, and you're ruining my countries in the world, and how dare you? And where Prince Charles just flew, like, 16,000 miles in the last week on a private jet.
Fun.
And he's all posing with her, like, fuck off, you guys, you elite pieces of shit. Get in a fucking rowboat. Come back over to America. Let's
You
talk.
1%ers.
Seriously, man. They're hypocrite fucks. Hey, you guys with no money. Stop doing shit we don't like you doing. Oh, we'll come up with an excuse.
Yeah.
You know
I
this-
have to fly 16,000 miles a week.
Yeah, you know who these fucks need to go talk to? How about China and fucking India, who are responsible for the majority of the pollution on the planet? Go talk to those fucks. We take necessary precautions daily. All right? We have laws in our country they don't even give a fuck.
Yeah, we also have laws against
dare
drugs
you.
and guns, too. That works out real well for America,
What's
doesn't
that?
it? So we have laws against drugs and guns, too. That works out real well for America.
There's not a lot of laws
Nobody
against
cares. Nobody cares. People will drive down the road, flink. They don't give a shit.
Well, I get that, but the point I'm making is that as a society, we've decided it's okay to recycle and look out for our planet. But they have these people screaming at us who are doing it,
Well,
but
you
they're
go to-
not talking to the people that aren't.
You go to the UK and stuff like that, though. Amsterdam,
UK is a good
Sweden, a
part
lot
of
of
it.
people like that. They
They're all
have
part of
they
it.
have trash cans. They have trash cans, recycle cans, like every 50 feet in the fucking street.
Right.
And I don't understand how we don't have more trash cans or recycle bins anywhere in town. Like, I mean, everywhere I've ever been. I mean, don't get me wrong. Half the time you'll still see trash next to the trash
Yeah.
can, but shit, at least it's next to a trash can.
I don't know, man.
I think America has to really step up their game, and you know what it is they don't want to pay city workers to go empty all the trash cans every day.
I'm sure that there's a cost factor.
It has to be a cost factor.
But you figure, so back in the 80s, that's what, every time there's a cost increase, that means there's going to be an increase in taxes, revenues for your cities, state, and federal government, right? People never look at it this way because I don't think people ever consider how much of a business the government is.
You mean shenanigans?
Shenanigans. Shenanigans. Evil shenanigans.
Shenanigans, right?